Hey everyone, it's Dr. Ange, and in today's video, we're going to talk about gardening, stress, and hope. So there's a lot of information going around about coronavirus. Almost all of it is terrifying. Some of it is true. What's not going around is a lot of talk about how we can improve our health through this pandemic. And so that's what I want to talk to you about today. And it reminds me of a story. A couple of summers ago, my family was living in Squamish, British Columbia. And we had these garden boxes and we decided that we wanted to plant a garden. And I am not a gardener. And so it was a big learning curve for me and it was a lot of fun. And so one of the things that I quickly realized is I started with seeds. So this is actually one of the seeds I have left from that. It's a green bean seed. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, if I want to have a really great crop of green beans, will they survive if I plant them in stressful conditions, or if I create stressful conditions, like I forget to water them, or the sun, they're not getting enough sun, or I put them in the wrong type of soil? I mean, the answer is pretty obvious, right? No, we're not going to get a healthy crop of vegetables. So I understood as a gardener that I needed to provide the right conditions for my garden to thrive. And it's the same with our body. And so if we are creating a condition or an environment in the body through our lifestyle that is stressful, whether those stresses are physical, chemical, or emotional, it's going to be really hard for our bodies to thrive. The other side of that is that through good lifestyle habits, we can actually do a lot to empower ourselves and to create an environment in our bodies where health can thrive. So that's an important philosophical foundation that I want to leave you with. From there, I want to talk briefly about stress. So the stressful conditions we can create, as I said, they can be physical. We might not be moving our bodies. We might be sitting for long periods of time. They can be chemical. We might be drinking more alcohol because we're feeling stressed, or eating foods that we know aren't good for us and are creating inflammation in the body. Or they can be emotional. And I think that there's a lot of emotional stress going on right now. There's a lot of uncertainty and people are feeling really scared about the future. So when we're under stress, our nervous system orients towards fight flight, and it's meant to go into fight flight to protect us and to get us away from what's stressful. And then when we're away from that, we're meant to go into what's called the rest digest, or the parasympathetic nervous system, and relax. And the body swings in this pendulum, or the nervous system swings in this pendulum. And that's healthy. That's a healthy response to stress. But when we don't actually come back from the fight flight state, if we stay there and we get locked into that state, which is where a lot of us live, and we know that in the practice because we measure that. We use technology called heart rate variability, and we measure what state you're living in, and it gives us a lot of information about what we can do for lifestyle to create a healthier nervous system. So when we're stuck in that fight flight, our immunity gets just totally beaten down, because the stress response in the body is releasing these stress hormones, and our body's just swimming in them. And it gets to the point where the body just can't stay vital. It can't adapt anymore. And so it starts to get weakened. And what we know about the lifestyle diseases, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, autoimmune disease, cancer, the common thread in all those diseases is stress. And interestingly, coronavirus, the people who are getting the sickest, and sadly, the people who are dying, are the people who have those underlying conditions. So during this time, it is a great opportunity to start being more proactive about our health and thinking about those lifestyle habits, thinking about whether or not are we hardwired in stress? And if you're unsure, then come on in and we'll get the heart rate variability checked and we can tell you. And then from there, I'm going to give you 5 really simple things you can do. And subsequent videos after this are going to go into more detail. But 5 really quick things you can do today if you're noticing that you're feeling more stressed is do a few minutes of deep breathing, a mindfulness meditation, gratitude practice. So spend a couple of minutes today writing down 3 things you feel grateful for. Move your body. So simple, yet something that a lot of us aren't doing. So go for a walk. And then the last thing is you can get creative. So engage your artistic side, maybe do a drawing, do some coloring. Those are all great strategies to help with stress. So I hope this video was helpful. If you haven't read the report that came before this video, please dive in, and then I will be in touch next week with our next strategy of how to stay healthy during this pandemic. Thanks.